Hey everybody, Dr. Greco here. Welcome to Ministry in a Minute. So, we've been talking about contentment, and we said that contentment is this forgotten attitude in our culture that really is a building block to holiness. And we said spiritually, it helps us keep our eyes fixed on Jesus. But you know what? I think contentment is maybe most valuable in a practical sense. In our world, we are so focused on success, on getting, on having. We have a consumer culture. It has infected the church. And I think sometimes we think the more we get from God, the more spiritual we are. But practically, we are beset by temptations. One of the things I said on Monday in the opening Ministry in a Minute on contentment was that contentment helps short-circuit the 7 deadly sins, lust and greed and gluttony. And if you go to the podcast this week, we're going to talk about those at length and how contentment and specifically certain disciplines about contentment short-circuit those 7 deadly sins. But practically, it helps us navigate life. Paul told Timothy, and I think Timothy's one of the most practical books in the Bible. Paul told Timothy in chapter 6, "But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare. With many senseless and harmful desires, they plunge into ruin and destruction." Doesn't that describe our culture? And even in the church, even Christians, we seek after things and we think those things will define us. So many people are defined by, if I can just find a good husband or wife, I'll be happy. If I can just get this job, I'll be happy. If I can just, there's no more just. If we're in Christ, He's enough. And contentment practically helps us understand that we're not defined by those things. We're defined by God. And that's where we'll pick up tomorrow. Not only is it spiritual and practical, but it has to be personal if we're going to take on the image of Christ in our culture. We'll see you tomorrow for another Ministry in a Minute.